And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here as we get ready for race number 4 of the NNSCRA Energizer Endurance Series. Today we are going to have commentary as we've had our first 3 races take place without commentary. So can't say for certain if it's going to be commentary on the future ones coming out. They may be kind of on and off. So just be aware of that. But we do have commentary here today for this race with Levi McIntyre starting on the pole alongside of Johnny Gardner. Both drivers actually seemingly looking for good runs here today, as it's been kind of a rocky start to the season for both. Johnny Gardner dead last in the point stands, Levi McIntyre 24th in points. But we are going to be getting set to go here as they'll come through maybe, I think, one of the hardest parts of this track, and this is the S's just before the start-finish line. But 30 minutes on tap here today. We'll see who's going to be taking the checkered flag in this one, as McIntyre and Gardner bring us down. Green flag is out, timer starts, and here we go. Remember, no caution flags. It's an endurance series, so whatever you got, better bring it to the table and hope that it sticks. Johnny Gardner, look at him working his way around the outside line. Gardner will go to the point. Rather surprising. I kind of expected Levi McIntyre to have the advantage there on the inside line, but that's not the case. So McIntyre falls back into second with Eli Bright there in third place. So far we've had 3 races, 3 different race winners. Got trouble back there. That was Eli Bright into the wall. Oh, there's more cars wrecking back there. 24 is in the wall. I think that was the 01 in the wall there of Paul Minnick. The 11 of Cooper Syron. It's easier to actually go through to the back this way. Find out. Got more cars on pit road. That's the 43 car. 43 of, I believe that's Tony, or that's not Tony Green, I'm sorry. That is actually Dylan Theroux. There's Cooper Syron, and Levi McIntyre was involved as well. And that is Quentin Moore in the 70. You can't see him, but he's back there. So both of the Haas cars getting involved in something. Looking at the disabled cars back here, that is the 55 of Ace Garcia, and there is the 01 of Paul Minnick smoking. So it looks like Minnick's day is done as he's holding up Ethan Thames in the 38. And Eli Bright has now gone to pit road, as well as the 21 of Cody Smart. Carson Gum, our winner from a couple of weeks ago, is also on the pit lane, along with the 40 of Wade Brummer. So I think we're going to have some retirees from this race very early in this thing. I mean, you look at the timer, and we're only just about 2 minutes really into this thing, and already we got some drivers in trouble, so that's really changed up our top 5. Gardner's still out in front, but now that moves the 15 into second of Alexander Rowe. The 18 of Philip Goldberg now moves into third. Fourth place, you've got the 22 of Jonathan Zoerlein, and right behind him, the 14 of B Braley. Back up here to the front as the trees kind of hindering our being able to see Johnny Gardner, but that was actually hindering us seeing a battle for the lead, because here comes Alexander Rowe for the top position, and he will take it away. So Alexander Rowe to the point, taking the spot away from Johnny Gardner. So far, I was going to say we've had 3 races, 3 different race winners. Daytona, of course, our winner being Matthew Daleo, Lime Rock, Carson Gum, and at Infineon, Zachary Fitzwater Sr. in that very interesting late pit road thing that took place. 15 cars showing the way here. There's a nice aerial view as they come through this portion of the course. Kind of gives us this nice helicopter look all the way down into those final S turns where the sand traps are just before the start-finish line. So Alexander Rowe leading Gardner. Oh, gets a little off track there, but so did Gardner, so did Goldberg, so no harm, no foul there. Here's where we're going to get into the interesting part. Down here into the S's, a lot of drivers have difficulty, especially off the final S coming to the start-finish line. A lot of drivers seem to hit the tire barriers that are there. So let's see if that's going to be an issue here for any of these leaders. Off the corner into the sand trap, and yes, the leader just got the tire barriers. Alexander Rowe, the first one to hit those tire barriers. I knew that was going to be an issue at this particular track, and it comes into play. Seth Cole back there has just hit the tire barriers in the 25. Another car back there I think might hit, and he does. That's the 10. Number 10 is hit, so is the 4. And boy, that's going to be the biggest trouble spot back there for sure. As there's last week's winner, Zachary Fitzwater Sr. running right behind his teammate there in the 31. A Lagasee, and just ahead of them, the 8 of Cole Deaver. Fitzwater Sr. crossed the line in 18th place. You already know that our other former winner in Carson Gum is on pit road, didn't even get to complete a lap. What about the other driver, though, that's found victory lane? Our winner from Daytona, and Matthew Daleo. Well, I think he was actually one of the cars that I just saw hit that wall. I think he was the 10 car. Well, there he is actually right there. He's actually continuing on. So Daleo, I don't know how much damage he might have sustained on his Valvoline Dodge Charger, but whatever it is, he still is going. Actually, no, it's not a Dodge Charger, it's a Dodge Avenger. Whoa! Contact between himself and the 41 of Jesse Turner. Did they save it? I can't see through that cloud of dust. I think they both did. Wow, heck of a save by those Dodges, Turner and Daleo. They probably should have gone off into the sand trap and probably would have been stuck there. There's Seth Cole. We saw him earlier get into that tire barrier as well, but looks like he's okay. As J Gardner may have a challenge for the lead right in his tire tracks. You can barely even see him because he's just running right behind him. There he is, stepping out of line. Philip Goldberg in the 18 looking for the race lead. Whoa! Goldberg gets wide through that corner, and he may have gotten off into the sand trap. Yes, he did. He's going to lose some valuable spots there through the second dogleg. He may have dropped back all the way, maybe to the 10th position, as we now have another new race leader. Jonathan Zoerlein worked his way past J Gardner through that dogleg, and now he shows the way. Zoerlein coming off a pretty decent run last week at Infineon. Zoerlein finishing that race in the 14th position, and at one point was up inside of the top 7. So Zoerlein trying to capitalize off of that. Zoerlein also not doing that badly in the point standings as a result of that. He actually jumped himself up in the points, up to 28th. So right now having another good run, which can help continue to propel him up through the stands. But remember, there's only 10 races, and we're getting close to the halfway point of the season already. So not a whole heck of a lot of time to be able to be making some moves here. You got to make moves early, and you got to make them frequently. B Braley running right there in that 3rd position, and there's Alex Tanker in the 44. Tanker was another driver who was having a pretty decent run last week at Infineon. Let me see where he actually finished that race. Tanker ended finishing in 2nd. Wow, okay, yeah, so he finished runner-up. That jumped him 13 spots in the standings. He's now up to 12th in points and having another solid run inside the top 5 here this week. Right behind him, you've got Colin Denton in the 19. He seems to be the only one of the Everham cars that's having a good run right now. We saw some earlier issues for Matthew Daleo getting into those tire barriers off the final corner. Carson Gum is currently on pit road. So at the moment, Colin Denton really the only one of those Everham Dodges that's having a slightly decent run, as he is currently in that 5th position. Denton coming into this race is 19th in points. He actually lost points in the standings last week. As we're going to jump up real quickly to Zoerlein, and that's why Zoerlein has gotten into the tire barriers, and everybody comes to a stop. Everybody having to stop and wait for the 22, and this could be a big issue here. It's not a red flag. It's just everybody stopped waiting for the 22 to spawn. There we go. Now the 22 will spawn back, and this just kind of stacks everybody up. B Braley didn't get going. And Tanker's going to come away with the lead over J Gardner and Colin Denton. Look at how stacked up it is back here because of that. Braley didn't get going. That allowed the 83 to be able to go around him of Jordan Lopez. That also brings a lot more into this party as well. The 42 car, you got Tony Green. Got the 88 back there. J Cittadino now in this mix. The Lowe's Chevy of J Jefferson. And when they start getting wadded up like this is when, you know, problems can happen and drivers can make mistakes. Green gonna get by J Jefferson. Have no idea what position that might be for. Might be for 6th, 7th, 8th, something like that. Back up to the front, see if anything's developing. Nope, Tanker's actually checked out with the lead now. J Gardner about to make it second to C Denton. And I don't know what it is, but it seems to be if you're the race leader, you're going to hit those tire barriers. I mean, you go back to the first lap that was completed here. The race leader at the time was, yeah, who was it? My memory's escaping me all of a sudden of who it was. It was somebody. Put it that way. They got the tire barriers, and then Jonathan Zoerlein getting to the tire barriers at the completion of the second lap. And time is starting to tick away. We are now down to 20 minutes left in this race. Thought might have been some issue back there for R Keesee in the 12. Actually, I think he did get into something back there in the dog leg. He just lost a couple of spots. One to Adam Chambers, and then another one to the 26 of Tripentacchio Vernio. I think Keesee might have actually gotten into, or Keesee, I guess is his pronunciation of his last name is. He might have gotten some contact with something back there in that first dog leg. Back up here towards the front. Got a battle going on here. This, I think, is for 7th between Philip Goldberg and J Jefferson. You got J Cittadino and last week's winner, Zachary Fitzwater, up here. I mean, Fitzwater's quite a ways back, but, you know, with circumstances going on, could we see our first repeat winner here this season? So far, we've already documented Carson Gum running into some difficulties in this race. Same for Matthew Daleo. There's another car on pit road. That's the 7 of Nick Johnson. I guess he's just leaving pit lane. Also, I just saw the 07 of DJ Kurtis. I don't think he got involved in anything, and he's on pit road, so these might be regular scheduled stops for those drivers. All these other drivers, I mean, it's an endurance race. The reason they're still sitting on pit road, they're just trying to get those cars repaired, get out there and log whatever they can, whatever laps they can, before, you know, we get through with our final 18 and a half minutes, because every point counts. Tanker out in front trying to capitalize on what he couldn't do last week in finding victory lane. Finished second to Zachary Fitzwater Sr. at Infineon. Now trying to close the deal here today. So far, 2 Dodges, 1 Chevrolet have gone to victory lane. No Fords and no Toyotas. So we got a Toyota out in front. So an opportunity there. I don't have a clue where the closest Ford is. There's the closest Ford, J Cittadino, who I think is running in the 7th position right now. Move back up towards the front because this is getting into those final corners again, and we've seen 2. Oh, well, nope, the leader's not going to hit the tire barrier because here comes Tanker, and he spins coming to pit road. Tanker has spun it around, coming to pit road. B Braley is in. C Denton gets the tire barriers, but I think he's going to be the race leader. I think J Gardner might have come to pit lane. Oh, there's somebody else back in the tire barrier. Someone spun. That's Tanker. Oh, Tanker's got a lot of damage on the front of his hood now. Another car in the wall. That's the 2 of Jay Barker. Jordan Lopez has got a lot of front-end damage now on his Red Bull Toyota. You can see it right there. As it looks like all these drivers making regularly scheduled stops. There's Barker stuck in the wall, and he just got a hit there from Stuart Gratton in the 17. I also thought I saw some left side damage on the 4 of Dallas McIntosh, but it looks like Denton is going to be the race leader. There he is. He's the one that stayed out. Everybody else came to pit road. I don't think anybody else stayed out this lap. Well, Did Goldberg and I guess those 2 stayed out. Goldberg and Fitzwater. That's a battle going on right now for the 2nd position between those 2. There's the 48 of J Jefferson. I think all these drivers have just come off pit road. But I'm not certain about the 18 and the 29. I don't know if they stayed out this lap or if they came to pit road and just got out ahead of everybody. I know for certain the 19 did not come to pit road of C Denton. Yeah, Fitzwater and Goldberg are too close behind. I think they also stayed out and did not come to pit road. So we had 3 drivers stay out, not come to pit road yet. They'll probably have to come to pit road this next time by. The question is, do they have enough fuel to get around? I mean, this track's just a little over 8 miles long, so hopefully they've got enough fuel in the tank to be able to get back around and not run out of fuel before they get to pit lane. Looking at Colin Denton's car, you saw he ended up getting those tire barriers just a little bit off the final corner on that last lap, and so he has some left side damage that they may have to repair when he comes into pit lane. As far as the 29 and the 18, though, I don't think they necessarily have any damage on their Chevrolets. Right side looks clean on Fitzwater. We'll have to see about the left side, which we may get a good look at coming here into this corner. Yeah, nothing wrong with that car, and I think the Interstate Battery Chevrolet pretty pristine condition as well. So don't know if maybe those 2 teams can pick up some time on Colin Denton when those 3 come to pit road, and Tanker is out of the race. You can see there he will finish out of the race, that Toyota, and he was leading the race coming to pit road. Just spun it in the sand traps. That's one of the most difficult pit roads to get to. See if anybody else is retired out of the race. Tony Green, the 14, he's out of the race. Also out of the race, Jonathan Zoerlein in the 22. Oh, wow, we got a lot of drivers down here that have retired out of the race already, including A Garcia, Austin LaPlante, Chase Marks in the 20, Paul Minnick, Carson Gum finally calling it a day. These are most from Carson Gum on down are mostly drivers that we saw sitting on pit road trying to get repairs done. They just couldn't get enough done to be able to get out there and salvage anything, because we're now into the second half of this race, less than 15 minutes to go. Also out of the race going to be the cars of Cody Smart, Eli Bright, Cooper Syron, Levi McIntyre after starting on the pole. I mean, he wrecked early, out of the race, so finished 39th. Also out, Quentin Moore, and also officially out with a valve issue, the 43 of Dylan Theroux. You see the 40 of Wade Brummer, they're still hoping they can get him out. He's currently scored 2 laps down, but if he can get out there, complete maybe 2 or 3 laps, he would probably jump up to finishing somewhere around the 34th, 35th position, which is a lot better than where he's currently scored in the 41st position. Colin Denton coming to pit road. He's going to spin it around. Gets the thing righted, trying to continue back. Got to get himself back on that racing surface. And he's going to lose ground. There goes Fitzwater by. Goldberg is in. Goldberg's going to very slowly and safely traverse his way on. Oh, whoa. Well, that was interesting. Is there like a little area there where you can't see the race cars? Well, Denton fortunately got onto pit road without damage, which is more than can be said for Alex Tanker when he came in as the leader, but that's going to cost him some valuable time. Looks like DJ Kurtis maybe was involved in something as he still sits on pit road, that Jack Daniels Chevrolet, so tough break there for DJ. DJ actually running pretty well in the point stands, if memory serves me correctly. Yeah, 5th in the points, so not good for him. And Fitzwater is down and away. Now these pit stops for these 3 drivers taking place with about 12 and a half minutes remaining, which makes me wonder, since they went roughly about 17 and a half minutes into this session, can they make it the entire rest of the way of this time session without having to come to pit road? If that's the case, Zachary Fitzwater Sr. looks like he's in good position to maybe take this thing to the checkered flag and pick up his 2nd win in a row. The only thing I would have a little question mark about is with the fact of him being the leader is not necessarily a good thing when you're coming off that final corner. Can Fitzwater avoid hitting the tire barriers? That could cost him an awful lot of time. Got a new 2nd place driver in the 99. How about Tim Horton? I was actually looking through our point stands trying to see, who could actually really benefit from a lot of the hardships had by other drivers running well in the point standings. One of the drivers that jumped out at me was Zachary Fitzwater Sr. because after his win, he jumped up to 9th. But Tim Horton comes into this race 3rd in the point standings, only 11 points out of the points lead. And now he's up here in the 2nd position. So that 99 car is in a good spot to maybe leave LeMans as the points leader. 3rd place now is J Jefferson. How about the 31? Nice run right now for L Lagasee. This is the best we've seen out of that team this entire season, and right now having a decent run. Same can be said for Chandler Caudill in that 45. We haven't really talked much about him today, and yet he is 4th in the point stands, only 13 points out. So another driver in the top 5 in points, having a solid day here today at Le Mans. Lagasee losing some spots, one to Caudill, and then now one to P Goldberg, who now cycles into the 5th position. Lagasee back to 6th. J Cittadino still running very solidly there in that 88 car. Cittadino not doing as well in the point stands as a number of other drivers ahead of him. 39th out of the 42 drivers coming into this race. So this is definitely a well-needed run for him. We also didn't really mention where P Goldberg comes into this race, 33rd in points. So both those drivers really needing good runs. They're getting them right now. There you see the 41 of Jesse Turner still running solidly in the top 10. Same for B Braley. And how about R Keesee? Great run for that 12 car. That's another driver that's been much in the same category as J Gardner in terms of luck so far this season. 40th in the point stands for that driver. So we're seeing drivers that really needed good runs getting them, drivers that have had good runs keeping them going. There's Adam Chambers, another driver who last week I thought was actually going to be one of the competitors for the win at Infineon, but got involved in a late race wreck, and that really cost him big time. Chambers now finds himself 31st in the points, and there's Cole Deaver in the 88, another driver trying to look for a good run today. He was able to finish somewhat decent last week, even though he ended up having to pit late, and he is 34th in the points coming into this race. We'll jump back up, see if anybody's been closing anything on Fitzwater, and so far, well, it looks like T Horton might be closing the gap, but he's going to have a lot more help to be able to do just that, as right now it's almost in cruise control for the moment for the Shell Pennzoil Chevrolet. But here's the trouble spot. Here's where I'm going to be very interested to see if Fitzwater Sr. can traverse his way through these final corners without hitting the wall. Even if he does hit the wall, that's going to give him some damage, which could slow his speed, so he's got to be very careful through this section of the track. Slides it a little wide, but does not hit the tire barriers. Now T Horton's got to do the same. He slides it much wider, and he's into the tire barriers. And Caudill's going to get by. Goldberg gets by. So does Lagasee and Cittadino. Somebody had trouble back here. Who was it? There was somebody that was running well. Oh, that's J Jefferson. He's coming into pit road, as is C Syron. Or make that Cole Deaver, rather. Oh, McIntosh is going way too wide, and he's going to get the wall. T Vernio's got damage. There's J Shelly piling in. Those three are going to have rather significant damage now. A couple of teammates there in the 26-16. They almost involved another teammate in Stuart Gratton, as well as the State Water Heater Chevrolet of Dallas McIntosh. We have more cars on pit road. That's Jordan Lopez still sitting there. And the 99 of T Horton, who we just saw get the wall. J Gardner just up ahead there. Bottom of your screen you can see. Also damage on that car, so he got involved in something as Cole Deaver's on the pit lane as well. So now, what was looking like could be a challenge for that car, Zachary Fitzwater Sr. Now that's gone away. However, Chandler Caudill and P Goldberg, they at least can see the race leader. It's a whole straightaway separation between them and the 29, but this thing is still not over. There still is, I guess you could say, time to be able to make a move, be able to run Zachary Fitzwater Sr. down, but we've only got about 7.25 minutes left, which according to my calculations should equal somewhere around maybe another 1.5 laps. So that final corner could come into play still at least one more time. And if Fitzwater messes up anywhere else, then that also could offer the opportunity for Caudill and Goldberg to maybe close up the gap. I also saw that not too far ahead is the slow car of E Thames, the 38. And Fitzwater, I don't know if before we get to the end of this race, if he's going to catch that car or not. And you can see right there, top of your screen, the 45 and the 18. They're still within the shot, same shot as the 29, but that's a lot of ground to have to make up in less than 6.5 minutes. So Zachary Fitzwater Sr., his win last week jumped him up into the top 10 to 9th. This win if he's able to close the deal, I would think would jump him at least up to third place. I don't know if it would jump him up to the win or not. A lot of drivers coming into this race have been on pit road, have gotten involved in incidents. Dallas McIntosh, we just saw hit the wall earlier in that State Water Heaters number 4 Chevrolet. He came in as the points leader. We know Carson Gumb's already out of the race. Tim Horton, we saw him in second place hit the wall. He's probably going to finish out of the race. The only drivers right now I can see that can in any way possibly have something to say about Fitzwater taking the points lead next week, and that's only one driver really, and that's Chandler Caudill, who comes in this race 4th in the points. The separation between Caudill and Fitzwater Sr. coming to this race was 13 points. So with where Caudill's running in second right now, I think even though Fitzwater Sr. might be able to get a win, I think he would only jump up to second in points. I think that still Chandler would be the points leader heading into next week. And next week's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to Road America for that race, so that's going to be very, very interesting. I mean, you think that there's some tight corners here. There's even tighter corners at that track. As here comes Fitzwater Sr. down into the section of the course, which could be the difference maker. Last time by made it very nicely past the tire barriers. Let's see if he can do it again. Through the S's. Off the corner, a little wide, not too bad. Oh, no, he got the wall. He got the wall. Car is spun around. He's going to try and keep it going. And the 45 and 18 are pitting. And, oh, no, there goes Caudill spinning. Goldberg saves it. Cittadino is going to come to pit road. Lagasee is spinning. Why are these drivers pitting? Could they not make it? Well, this makes things very, very interesting now because Fitzwater Sr. is the leader with 4:20 remaining. Yep, you can make a joke if you want to on that. But he's now got damage. He also will maybe have to come to pit road this next time around. Now, with there being 4 minutes, is it going to take 4 minutes, less than 4 minutes I should say, for Fitzwater Sr. to get around the racetrack and have to come to pit road? This could come down to the final seconds of this race, folks. And think about it. Think of how Fitzwater Sr. won last week at Infineon. A pit stop by the leader, and Fitzwater was able to stay out in time for the clock to run down to win the race. It could be reverse roles here this week, as you've got slower car up ahead there of Nick Johnson, the Monster Energy Ford Fusion. Maybe holding Fitzwater Sr. up. Maybe that would allow Fitzwater Sr. to not finish a lap before our final 3 and some odd seconds are left. I don't know. I do not know. Keep in mind, when we get to the timer, the next time by is the final lap. So add another lap onto the timer. Do not think that just because we hit zeros on the clock, the race is over and whoever's the leader is the winner of the race. We are taking the white flag the next time the leader hits the stripe after the clock goes to 0 minutes, 0 seconds. So this thing is not over by a long shot. And oh, I just got word that Chandler Caudill has retired out of the race. Must have had the same issue that Alex Tanker did after spinning onto pit road. So Caudill is out of the race. That's a driver that came in running really well in the point standings. Tim Horton officially out of the race. Tanker, I think we already mentioned, was out of the race along with Tony Green. DJ Kurtis officially calling it a day as well. Everybody else, though, that I hadn't mentioned before as far as out of the race, they're either still on pit road or still on the racetrack running. And I believe, according to our scoring monitor, 22 drivers are on the lead lap. Getting into the closing stage, closing turns here. We may have to make 2 more laps around Le Mans to finish this thing out. 1 minute, 1 and 3/4 minutes, I should say. Fitzwater entering in. Now, if he crosses the start-finish line before the clock goes to zeros, it would be 2 laps to go. And I think Fitzwater's going to have to come to pit road this time. It's whenever the leader hits the line. 1 minute, 20 seconds. Is Fitzwater going to get to the start-finish line before or after we hit zeros? If the clock goes to zeros and Fitzwater has not hit the stripe yet on this lap, then it's technically the white flag when he hits the line. Then the next time around is the checkers. 1 minute exactly left. I think he's going to get to the start-finish line before the clock goes to zeros, which means we will be technically at 2 to go unless he comes to pit road. That could slow him getting to the start-finish line. Coming down to the S's with about 45 seconds left. Yeah, we're definitely going to be about 2 to go. And Fitzwater is going to come to pit road. Boy, he faked me out. And he spins it. Fitzwater spins it now. He's not ahead of the start. He's not to the start-finish line yet. Got the thing going. He's got to cross the start-finish line before... Oh, dear. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. Before we hit zeros, and he has crossed the start-finish line, which means it's 2 to go. 2 laps to go. The leader has crossed the start-finish line. Fitzwater with that damage, you got to wonder how that's going to affect how long his pit stop's going to be. Is Ben Braley in second? I don't know if Braley's in second or who's in second. I don't know if it's Braley. I don't know if it's Chambers. Fitzwater Sr., they're still working on the race car as we have gotten to zeros, which means that the next time the leader hits the line is the white flag. Here comes Braley. Is he going to get scored in second place? He missed the tire barriers. Looking at the scoring monitor, he is in second. Chambers, he missed it. So did Keesee. Chambers is going to cross in third. Keesee is in fourth. And Fitzwater Sr. is still on pit road. Ben Braley is the new race leader. The new race leader with 2 laps to go at Le Mans. Oh boy, how things have changed. Next time the leader hits the line, which could very well be the Panasonic Chevrolet out of MB2 Motorsports, it will be the white flag. Braley is the leader. Chambers is in second. R Keesee is in third. Cittadino is now in fourth. Fifth is Philip. Oh, I don't know why I want to keep saying Paul. Philip Goldberg. Sixth now is Fitzwater Sr. Seventh place, that's going to be Jesse Turner. I think eighth place is Tripe and T Vernio, hoodless and all. Ninth place is who knows. It might be A Lagasee, as we got J Jefferson having some issues on pit road. And Stuart Gratton may actually be the final car in the top 10. Got 2 of those Roush cars, hoodless, running the top 10. This is the best battle going on the racetrack right now. This is for second place. Chambers has it. Keesee wants it. And I don't think I actually looked to see where Ben Braley came into this point standings. He came in 14th in points. This could be a huge points day for Ben Braley if Braley can close the deal. Came into the race 28 points out of the points lead, and we already know that McIntosh and Gum and Horton and Caudill and Kurtis and Cole and Nick Johnson, Vernio, a whole host of drivers ahead of him in the point days have had issues today. Ben Braley might be able to capitalize and work his way into the top 10 as looks like maybe something might have happened to the 12 of Keesee. R Keesee lost touch with Adam Chambers, who now is firmly in control of second. Chambers, though, might have time to be able to run down Ben Braley. Keep in mind, this is the 2 to go mark. They have to at least make 1 more lap to finish this session out, finish this race out. It's not over. Don't know if damage affects anything. You can see there is some left side damage on Ben Braley's car. Chambers' car, on the other hand, doesn't look like he has any damage. Let's look at the left side of his Domino's Toyota. Oh no, he's got damage as well. Okay, so maybe those two kind of equal each other out. As Ben Braley traversing his way carefully. I mean, right now, I don't know what the live timing is, but he's got a nice gap between himself and Chambers. Chambers coming into view just now, so I'd say roughly maybe 10 to 12 second advantage separating the 14 from the double zeros. So if I'm Ben Braley, I'm not going to be picky about trying to drive these turns hard. I'm going to try and milk my way around, make sure I don't make any mistakes, especially off that final corner. which he is fast approaching. So this turn, upcoming, could decide our race winner. Whoever makes it past, more than likely is going to win this race. Braley heading down towards the S's. Just got to basically tiptoe his way through. Coast if you have to. You can hear him playing with the throttle, coasting it as best he can. Off the turn, a little wide. Oh, he got the wall, but he didn't. He kept going. He kept going. Chambers, a lot of ground still to make up. If he can make it through here cleanly, he might be in good shape. And no, he's going to get the wall. And R Keesee gets into him. And that may have just handed the win over to Ben Braley. Second and third have just wrecked. And Cittadino's going to move by for second place. They're still lodged in the tire barriers back there are Chambers and Keesee. Chambers now teleports to pit road. Keesee back in third. Fitzwater's already worked his way back up to fourth. And I think Goldberg's coming to pit road. Yes, he is. Goldberg's coming to pit road. That's giving up a top 5. Fitzwater going to clear the tire barrier. Jesse Turner. Oh, Turner's into the tire barriers. And here comes J Vernio. This could be for 5th place. And Vernio's going to get by. Turner's still stuck in the wall. Oh boy, what a difference this makes. Braley to the lead, Cittadino in second. Third is Keesee. Fourth, Fitzwater, and Vernio now jumps to 5th. I don't know who would be 6th. I think it's going to be a battle between Chambers and Lagasee. Or Lagasee, I guess is how you would pronounce it. And Lagasee going to take the spot, so he's 6th. Chambers is now 7th. 8th place would, well, it would have probably been Stuart Gratton. He's into the wall. So maybe Shelly. 9th possibly would be Matthew Daleo, and Jay Barker might finish this race in 10th, depending on where everybody else finishes. But Ben Braley, things could not have worked out any better for him. Second place, Rex kind of blockades in third place, and he has a huge lead. 22 seconds over John Cittadino. You gotta wonder where this is gonna put Ben Braley in terms of the point standings after this race. 4 races in, he came into this race 14th in the point standings, and a lot of drivers that he came in behind, he is gonna be way ahead of when this race finishes. I mean, you think about it too, looking at the point standings, 6th in the points coming in this race was Seth Cole. He was 21 points back. You go all the way down to around 15th in points, which was 8th Garcia. 6th through 15th in points were separated by only 8 points. That's how close it was, which means that this track, a good finish, picks you up a big amount of spots in the standings, and Ben Braley going to capitalize on that for sure. I just thought of something. Those tire barriers are just before the start-finish line. I don't want to wish any bad karma at all on Ben Braley. I'd love to see him win, but if Braley messes up the final corner, gets lodged in the tire barriers, that is just before the start-finish line. I don't know if teleporting to pit road would teleport him across the start-finish line and they would score him as thus. So we cannot say the win has been given to Ben Braley yet. Braley has to still make it through those S's one last time and at least get across the start-finish line. If he hits them and keeps going, he could probably still win. 7 cars not going to be in the way of Nick Johnson. He's coming to pit road. Braley's coming to pit road. Don't spin. Oh, he spun it. Oh, he spun it. Braley spun it out. Can he get it onto the racing surface, though? He might still be able to still salvage this. He gets it onto the racing surface. Oh, no. Oh, no. Where did he go? Where's... Oh, there he is. Oh, he's got damage. But I think he might be able to cross the line still. Braley is going to cross the stripe, and Braley's going to win here at Le Mans. Wow. Barely made it. Oh, Cittadino was coming to pit road too. Cittadino's coming in. Oh, Cittadino trying to hang on for second spot. Oh, and he's going to lose second place. R Keesee just passed him. Keesee's going to take second. And Cittadino may not even get third. Here comes Fitzwater Sr., and he can't get him. Cittadino just barely got Fitzwater at the line. Fitzwater is going to finish in fourth. Here comes Vernio. Vernio looking for a top 5 finish. And Vernio's coming to pit road. Oh, looks like Vernio might be able to keep it straight. And Vernio will make it to pit lane. So it looks like Vernio, hoodless and all, is going to get a top 5 here today. Oh, car spinning coming into pit lane. That's Chambers and Lagasee. They were battling just before, and now they're battling to the line. Oh boy, I think they're both going to hit that wall. They both disappeared. Oh, there's Lagasee. Where's Chambers? Lagasee's going to get 6th. Where'd Chambers go? Did Chambers have to teleport? Where the heck is he? Oh, there he is. Yeah, he did have to teleport. I don't know where this is going to score him now. So Lagasee's going to get 6th. Chambers, I don't know if they're going to score him in 7th or not. Wait, I guess they actually... wait a minute. Did I miss the 18 of Goldberg? No, there's Goldberg. Goldberg's being scored ahead of Chambers. Here comes James Shelly. I don't know if Shelly's on the lead lap or not. Yeah, he is. I don't know where he crossed the line, though. Here comes his teammate Stuart Gratton, Matthew Daleo. Oh, and Shelly's not going to be able to get to the start-finish line. He may lose a spot to his teammate Stuart Gratton. Shelly had to teleport. Stuart Gratton may end up coming out with a top 10. He may actually finish in... Well, Chambers, they just scored Chambers in 7th. Chambers will finish 7th. And now Gratton looks like he will more than likely finish in 8th. Oh, go, go. Oh, he's just there almost to the start-finish line, and he makes it. So he'll get 8th. 9th place may be Matthew Daleo, and it may end up being the 15 car of Alexander Rowe, who, remember, back at the beginning ended up wrecking while leading the race. He may end up finishing top 10. No, he won't. James Shelly just crossed the line in 9th, so Shelly's going to get 9th. And it looks like Matthew Daleo may finish out the race in the 10th position, our winner from Daytona. Hits the wall, keeps it going, and Daleo will get 10th. So that is going to do it. Let's take a look now at the finishing results. So here's how this race will finish out. Standings would be official at this point. Ben Braley wins the race. So we've gone 4 races with 4 different race winners. That's Chevrolet's second win of the season, second in a row as well. R Keesee's best finish as well. In second, J Cittadino, same for him in third. Zachary Fitzwater Sr., great follow-up finish after his win last week at Infineon to finish 4th. T Vernio in 5th. Then it was A Lagasee, Adam Chambers, Stuart Gratton, James Shelly, and Matthew Daleo completing your top 10. Alexander Rowe will get 11th. Philip Goldberg will get 12th. Jesse Turner 13th. 14th, Jay Barker and Nick Johnson just stayed on the lead lap for most of this race, just barely, will finish in 15th place. Colin Denton was out in front for a bit of this race, finishes 16th. Cole Deaver 17th. J Jefferson 18th. They all finished off the lead lap. Eric Thames finished out of the race in 19th. L McIntosh 2 laps down in 20th. That was the driver who came in as the points leader. Undoubtedly will not leave LeMans as the points leader. Then Chandler Caudill 21st. Seth Cole finished 2 laps down, 22nd. 3 laps down for Wade Brummer and Ryan Madden. They at least finished, though, 23rd and 24th, which is a lot better than all these other drivers who finished out of the race. Tim Horton, Jordan Lopez, Johnny Gardner, Alex Tanker, Tony Green, J Kurtis, Jonathan Zoerlein, A Garcia, Austin LaPlante, Chris Marks. I believe I'm saying that right. Let me check and make sure that I'm saying that correctly. No, Chase Marks, rather. Sorry, I'm still trying to get used to names. Paul Minnick, Carson Gum, Cody Smart, Eli Bright, Cooper Syron, Levi McIntyre. Tough break starting on the pole, finishing 40th. Teammate Quentin Moore, 41st, and Dylan Theroux finished out of the race with a valve issue in 42nd place. So expect a points shakeup for sure. I think maybe, just maybe, the points leader heading into next week, more than likely, according to the way that it looks, is going to be Zachary Fitzwater Sr., I think. Based on where everybody else finished, I think it's going to be close between Fitzwater Sr., Ben Braley, and Vernio, because they were actually really, really close in the points. I think maybe Fitzwater Sr. by 1 point over Vernio, and then it's going to be really close for Ben Braley. Maybe, well, actually, it was only 4 point separation. Actually, I think Braley might have taken the points lead by a couple points over both Vernio and Fitzwater Sr. We're going to have to find out. I don't know. I'm trying to do math in my head, but we're going to leave it to the professionals and find out what the official point standings look like. Same time that you do. Next week, we go to Road America for our halfway point here of the Energizer Endurance Series. Maybe it will be with commentary. Maybe it won't. We'll have to see. But thank you all for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed today's Endurance Series race. Congratulations to Ben Braley on his first win of the season. If you enjoyed this race, be sure to give this video a like. Subscribe to become part of the crew today. We've shown you full finish results, upcoming next year point standings, and we'll see you next week for Road America. As you've been watching production of the SRA, offline racing at its best.